I never imagined I'd be labeled a worthless wife, but when I took back my power, I will never forget the day everything fell apart, the day my world shattered into a million pieces. I stood there, frozen, staring at the dusty floor tiles, my heart racing, my breath shallow. The air felt heavy, like a storm brewing inside me. I was drowning in the echoes of harsh words. Useless, he had said, his voice cold as ice. The accusation cut deeper than any blade. My hands trembled, and my stomach twisted. I had tried so hard, but it was never enough. I was suffocating under the weight of expectations. What was I doing wrong? Brian and I had built a life together. We laughed, we loved. I had visions of us growing old, surrounded by children and grandchildren. But all of that felt distant now, lost in the shadows of resentment and disappointment. I caught a glimpse of my reflection in the window, weary eyes, hollow cheeks. I felt like a stranger in my own skin. The pain intensified as I thought of my mother. She had taught me to be strong, to stand tall, but I wasn't standing anymore. I was crumbling. My friends whispered concerns, their pity palpable, but I ached for their understanding. Did they even know how fragile I felt? Suddenly, the door creaked open. Brian entered. His face twisted in frustration, and I could sense the storm brewing behind his knowing eyes. Would he see through the facade I had created? The silence between us roared louder than any argument. My heart thudded painfully in my chest. He stepped closer, and I flinched, preparing for the fight. But then, something shifted. A flicker of vulnerability crossed his face. Was he scared too? The thought ignited a tiny spark of hope, flickering against the overwhelming darkness. In that moment, I realized I stood on a precipice. I had a choice. Would I fall, or would I finally soar? What would happen if I claimed my freedom? My heart raced at the thought, but the fear of the unknown gripped me. As I opened my mouth to speak, to reclaim my voice, the floor shook beneath us. A loud crash echoed from the kitchen. My heart skipped a beat. What was that? Hey, before we continue with this amazing story, I need to give you an important heads up. Many subscribers have reported that YouTube unsubscribed them without warning. Take a quick second to check the red button below to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. I'd hate for you to miss any of the exclusive content coming soon. And while you're there, smash that like button, it really helps me out with the algorithm. Oh, and tell me in the comments, which city are you watching from? I love getting to know every amazing person who's part of this community. Your participation makes all the difference. Let's connect. The crash echoed like thunder, shattering the fragile moment between us. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I dashed into the kitchen, each step reverberating with uncertainty and dread. The sight before me stopped me dead in my tracks. Fragments of glass sparkled on the floor like a disastrous constellation. The remains of my favorite wine glass lay scattered after an unintentional confrontation with the kitchen counter. Damn it, why can't you just? Brian's voice trailed off, frustration palpable as he took in the mess. I could see the tension draining from his posture, leaving only vulnerability behind. The air grew thick, so heavy with unsaid words that I could hardly breathe. Are you okay? I asked softly, suddenly more concerned about him than myself. He glanced at me, the fight in his eyes flickering as he knelt to sweep the glass shards into a makeshift pile. No, I am not okay, he replied, his tone edged with an unfamiliar honesty. I am so damn tired of this. His admission struck a chord within me, igniting a cocktail of emotions I wasn't prepared to face. The shadows between us seemed to widen with every heartbeat, Yet there was a glimmer of connection, a shared weariness that felt almost intimate. I watched him, absorbed in the ritual of cleaning, and felt a tidal wave of tenderness wash over me. I didn't want to distract him, but I ached to bridge the chasm that had formed between us. I understand, I whispered, my voice trembling. I am tired too. Tired of pretending everything is fine. He paused, his hands lingering over the shards. Do you ever feel like we're just going through the motions? The question hung in the air, heavy yet illuminating. I nodded, my throat tight. Every day. I don't know how we got here, Brian. I used to feel like we had everything figured out. He met my gaze, and in that moment, the storm inside him seemed to still. What happened to us? I felt my heart shatter again, not from words he had thrown but from this painful yet hopeful reflection. I think we lost ourselves along the way, I replied, surprised by the softness in my voice. Maybe we forgot what it was like to truly be us. Brian's expression wavered, uncertainty flickering across his face before he shifted his gaze to the debris at our feet. I don't want to keep losing us. A small flame ignited within me, fueled by the realization that we were in this together, navigating a tangled web of emotions. Then let's not, I murmured, reaching for his hand. He hesitated, but then he took mine, his grip warm and solid. Before we could sink deeper into the moment, the doorbell rang, jolting us back to reality. The sound reverberated through the air, slicing through the fragile connection we had begun to forge. My heart raced. What could it be? Brian released my hand, glancing toward the door. I'll get it, he said, his voice a mixture of weariness and concern. I nodded absently, still caught in the whirlpool of our earlier exchange. With a hesitant step, he opened the door, and I could hear muffled voices from the hallway. My stomach knotted as the weight of uncertainty bore down on me again. The anxious moments stretched into eternity before I finally gave in to curiosity. I approached the door, peering around Brian's shoulder. My breath hitched when I saw her Marisol, my best friend, standing there with a bouquet of vibrant flowers, a smile brightening her tired face. Surprise! She exclaimed, her excitement filling the room like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. Her presence was like an oasis amidst the turmoil, yet I felt a twinge of guilt wash over me. A bittersweet reminder that it was so easy to feign happiness in front of others. Marisol, I breathed, forcing a smile that felt foreign. What are you doing here? I came to check on you, she said, her voice steady as she stepped inside, brushing past Brian, who stood frozen like a statue. I brought these for you. I accepted the flowers mechanically, but they did ignite a warmth within me. A small flicker of kindness in a world that felt increasingly bleak. Marisol scanned the room. I didn't mean to interrupt. Anything, she added, noticing the shattered glass. The tension seemed to heighten, reflecting between Brian and me like a taut string on the verge of snapping. There was something in the way Marisol looked at us, a knowing glance that sent ripples of discomfort through me. Everything's fine, I managed to say, but even to my own ears, it felt like a feeble lie. Would my voice betray the turmoil lurking beneath the surface? As together we attempted to clean up the chaos, I couldn't shake the feeling that the moment of clarity I had with Brian was fleeting, a mere oasis in a desert of disillusionment. And yet, I wondered if this sliver of kindness might just be the thread that pulled us slightly closer together. But as the hours crept by, another layer of complication settled. A sudden realization tugged at my mind, an airy thought that had been lurking in the shadows. What if the life Wednesday built was now teetering, ready to crumble under the surface tension? Could it be true? Just as those doubts crept into my mind, Marisol turned to me, her expression shifting from joyful to concerned. There's something I need to tell you, she began, and the moment felt charged with suspense. What is it? I asked, my heart racing as I prepared for yet another storm on the horizon. Her eyes widened as she hesitated, as if weighing the gravity of what she was about to reveal. It's about Brian. Time froze around me, the room spiraling into a hush, as if the world outside had muted itself. Whatever she was about to say might just shift everything I thought I knew. I stood on the precipice again, teetering between hope and despair, not knowing which way the fall would take me this time. The silence in the room was deafening. Marisol's words hung suspended in the air, heavy with implication and fear. My heart raced as I grasped the bouquet tighter, the petals digging into my palm like desperate anchors trying to keep me from drifting away. What about Brian? I managed to utter, my voice barely above a whisper. The weight of Marisol's gaze bore down on me, pinning me in place as uncertainty welled inside me like an ominous tide. Her expression turned serious, her lips pressed together in a tight line. It's something I overheard. She took a breath, and I could see the wavering determination behind her eyes. He's been talking to someone a lot. Someone who's not you. My stomach dropped. What do you mean? I almost choked on the words. Who? Marisol shook her head slowly, a mixture of regret and empathy etched on her face. I don't know her name, but from what I gathered, they have been meeting regularly. Brian confides in her more than he does with you. A numbing coldness washed over me, the warmth from the flowers turning into a suffocating weight in my hands. He can't, I murmured, hoping against hope that this was just a misunderstanding. Yet in my heart, I felt the sharp pricks of betrayal. Brian, standing at the doorway, remained a statue, his expression unreadable. I caught his eye, searching for something, any sign that this was all a misunderstanding. But all I found was an unsettling void. What did he say? I pressed on, wanting to dive deeper into the churning waters of uncertainty even when my instincts screamed at me to back off. I don't know all the details, Marisol replied gently. Just that it felt intimate. He shared things with her that he's never shared with you. The ache grew within me, twisting like a knife slicing deeper with every word. I forced myself to breathe, fighting back the wave of anger and heartbreak threatening to crest and pull me under. No, this can't be happening. Not now. Oh, sweetie, Marisol said softly, stepping forward to touch my arm. I just thought you should know. I would never want to see you hurt. With her words, I felt the fragile pieces of my security shatter once more. Each revelation felt like another glass shard across the floor, sharp and dangerous. My mind raced, replaying every interaction, every moment we'd shared since the crack between us had widened. Had I been so blind? Taking in a trembling breath, I stole a glance back at Brian. His eyes were hard, shadowed by an unspoken weight. Is this true? I asked, the accusation in my voice as clear as the shards strewn about the room. Are you really confiding in someone else? The tension spooled tighter, a noose of emotion pulling at both of us. I felt just as much fear as I did anger, fear of losing him, of losing myself in the chaos that was our life. The weight of the question loomed, threatening to crush us under its enormity. Brian ran a hand through his hair, the frustration and exhaustion evident in his every movement. He began, but whatever he was about to say hung in the balance, poised to tip into deeper chaos. Then, without warning, the lights flickered, plunging us briefly into darkness before they returned, brighter than before. It was as if the universe itself had paused to bear witness to this moment, holding its breath along with us. Hope and despair stood like vultures at the edge of our thoughts, waiting for the other to falter. Before Brian could respond, there was another knock at the door, this one sharper, more insistent. What now? I whispered, my heart racing as I stepped away from the tense standstill. Marisol glanced nervously between us, sensing that emotions were about to explode. Maybe it's best if I go, she suggested, glancing at the door. But I just shook my head, my need for answers eclipsing my desire to shield her from the storm we were unraveling. I approached the door, my pulse echoing in my ears. As I opened it, my breath caught in my throat. Standing on the threshold was not just someone unexpected but an apparition from the past. Lena, Brian's younger sister, her face pale and strained, eyes darting nervously. "I need to talk to you both," she breathed, her voice tight with urgency. The intensity in her gaze was a stark contrast to the swirling storm in our home. "What's wrong?" I asked, already sensing that whatever news she bore would not be easy to digest. "I think you need to hear this," she continued, stepping inside, her movements urgent as if time were of the essence. "It's about Brian and what's really been going on." At that moment, I felt the ground drop beneath me. Just when I thought the complexities of our emotions could not depend further, Lena's presence threatened to unravel the tenuous grip we had on the fragile bond holding us together. The trajectory of our lives would shift yet again, and I stood on the brink of a revelation that could shatter the remnants of hope I had so desperately clung to. My heart raced, pulsing with dread and anticipation, knowing that with every tick of the clock, the truth would soon unravel before setting the stage for whatever came next. The moment Lena stepped into the room, the air thickened with an uncomfortable tension that I couldn't quite place. Her presence felt almost like an intrusion, a painful reminder of the familial web we had become enmeshed in, a web I thought I understood until now. I could feel Marisol's unease ripple through the space between us, her supportive nature momentarily eclipsed by the weight of new revelations. "What do you mean, Lena?" Brian asked, his voice sharp. I could see his resolve beginning to unravel, the confidence he had carried in our silence wilting under Lena's inquisitive gaze. Lena swallowed, her eyes darting back to me before flicking to Brian. "I heard something that might explain things. It's about the woman you've been talking to." There it was again, the echo of betrayal ringed with frayed edges that cut deep into my heart. "I don't want to hear rumors," Brian shot back. But Lena's anxious energy propelled her forward. "It's not a rumor. I overheard something that night during the party, the one you told me you were leaving early from. She was there." I didn't recognize her until she spoke, but she made it clear that you two have been closer than you were letting on, she confessed, tears brimming in her eyes, each drop a silent indictment against our fragile unity. The room felt as if it was slowly collapsing in on itself, walls closing in suffocatingly as each word sunk deeper into the crevices of our pain. "Why didn't you say anything sooner?" Brian's voice trembled with a mixture of anger and regret, and I could see the cracks in his facade begin to spread. I felt a swell of emotion rise within me, fear, betrayal, yet a small flicker of hope that perhaps, just perhaps, this was a moment of reckoning. It wasn't just about the potential infidelity, it was about transparency, honesty, and the foundation we had built together that now threatened to crumble beneath the weight of secrets. Lena took a shaky step forward. "Because I didn't want to believe it either," she admitted, her voice cracking as she confessed her own turmoil. "I thought he would come to you. I thought he would choose you. But it was clear to me at that moment that he wasn't." Brian stepped back, his jaw tightening. "You don't understand, but I do understand," Lena interrupted, her frustration igniting a fierce intensity. "You think you can just keep burying things and expect them to go away? I can't stand by and watch you break Marisol's heart because of something you refuse to address." Every word felt like a jagged edge pressed against the wound Brian had inflicted. I stood frozen, torn between wanting to shield him from further humiliation and needing to confront the growing reality that perhaps he had already made his choice. Is it true? I finally managed to breathe, my chest tightening as his unclear gaze searched the room, as if he could find an escape route from the tangled mess unfurling before us. Tell me what's really going on, Brian. He hesitated, his mind wrestling with the truth that lay on the tip of his tongue. I never meant for you to find out like this, he finally said, his voice thick with the weight of things left unsaid. I was struggling, and it's complicated. Complicated. The words seemed to hang ominously in the air, a code for everything that had already fallen apart. Struggling how, exactly? Is it just me you're confiding in someone else? Is it about our relationship? I pressed with fervor, desperation clawing at my throat. I needed to know what intricacies lay behind his choice to be vulnerable with another woman. Brian's pained expression only fueled my uncertainty as he stammered, I thought it would help. Everything felt too heavy and she understood in ways I didn't think you would. The dismissal in his tone cut deeper than the words themselves, and with each passing second, I felt the world around me growing smaller. I just wanted to feel free again, he murmured, almost to himself, and suddenly, the cracks in our relationship widened, threatening to swallow the remnants whole. Lena's face softened, her earlier determination shifting to something akin to pity. You need to talk to her, Brian. Clear up whatever is going on before it's too late. There was an urgency in her words, a plea for resolution that she seemed to believe could mend our ties. Just as I felt the suffocating weight of sadness pressing down on me, the door swung open with a force I hadn't anticipated. My neighbor, Karen, had arrived, a calm presence amid the chaos. I heard yelling, she stated matter-of-factly before her gaze fell on our tension-filled room. What's going on? Every head turned toward her, an unexpected intrusion into our gathering storm. And with the spotlight suddenly on us, the weight of unspoken truths loomed larger than before. Brian's face was caught between shock and guilt, and an urgent plea formed in my heart. Would this moment be the catalyst that forced us to confront the choices we had each made? Yet before any of us could respond, Lena's phone buzzed insistently, and she pulled it out with a startled expression. Her face paled even further as she looked at it, the color draining from her cheeks. "Oh no, my God, you have to see this." And there, in an instant, everything shifted yet again. That buzz became a new earthquake in our fragile space, promising to uncover yet another layer of reality we were unprepared to face. The ground heaved beneath us as I instinctively drew closer into myself, waiting for whatever revelation would shatter the precious few strands of hope still lingering amidst the chaos. The moment Lena spoke those fateful words, an icy chill surged through the room. "You have to see this," she reiterated, her voice trembling as color failed her cheeks. It felt as though the very air we breathed had turned to ice, our collective breaths caught in our throats. "What is it?" I asked, my heart racing as dread coiled in my stomach like an uncalling serpent. I couldn't tell if it was fear or anger bubbling inside me, but it was threatening to spill over like a boiling pot. With shaking hands, Lena handed me her phone, its screen lighting up with notifications from social media. I absent-mindedly opened the app, and there it was, plain as their photo of Brian with her, wrapped in an embrace that felt like a blade driven through my heart. I had never considered the idea that betrayal could manifest in such a tangible form. My thoughts spiraled as I stared at the image, unable to move or speak, each pixel a confirmation of my community's whispers and my own lurking doubts. I felt Brian's presence beside me, but it felt distant and foreign, as if he were just an apparition. "They've been at it for weeks," Lena muttered, her voice wavering. "I wanted to believe the best of you both." In contrast to the chaos brewing within me, Brian's face went ghostly pale, it was a look of devastation I had never witnessed before. "I didn't mean for this to happen," he whispered, his voice barely audible over the pounding of my heart. "Didn't you?" I spat, the words escaping me like a rush of wind. "How can you stand there and act like this is just some mistake?" A tense silence enveloped the room, and I could feel Karen's eyes fixated on the discord. The weight of judgment was palpable, but for once, it was not my focus. Instead, I was lost in an abyss of betrayal, torn between the geysers of anger erupting within me and the crushing realization that I had been utterly blind to all the signs leading up to this. "I've been feeling so lost," Brian managed to say, finally breaking his silence, but the moment the words left his mouth I felt the room shrink around us. "I thought I was handling it, but I wasn't. I am so sorry." "Sorry?" I echoed incredulously, disbelief transforming into raw rage. "You think that's enough?" The words echoed around the room, demanding recognition, a rallying cry against the shattering of trust and promises made. I felt Lena close the distance between us, her proximity an unintended reminder of how complex this web of relationships had become. All I wanted was to feel supported, to finally feel secure, and quite frankly, I thought I was enough, I admitted, struggling to keep the tears at bay. "And instead, I gave you my whole heart, while you found solace in someone else." The expression on Brian's face pierced through me, a painful combination of guilt and regret, but it was not enough anymore. The realization of his emotional infidelity consumed me entirely, an ache that pulsed like a wound. At that moment, I felt a ripple of anger growing within me, a tide rising that tugged fiercely on the roots of my identity. "I can't keep pretending everything is okay," I said, my voice steady, a stark contrast to my internal turmoil. "I deserve better." "We both do." Before he could respond, I placed Lena's phone on the table. It felt like a declaration, a symbolic severing of ties, the end of an illusory fairy tale I had unwittingly been a part of. And with that, I turned away, not out of spite but as a desperate bid for self-preservation, a deep-rooted desire to reclaim my sense of worth. "Marisol," Lena began, concern clouding her eyes, but I raised my hand slightly, a plea for silence. I needed to breathe, to gather the countless shards of my emotions before deciding what came next. Amidst the emotional wreckage, it was Karen who approached me, an unexpected gesture of support. "Marisol," she said softly, "it's okay to feel hurt," her voice imbued with understanding. "Just don't lose yourself in what he's done." That single act of kindness pierced through the fog of my despair, a reminder that I wasn't entirely alone in this storm. I nodded gratefully, though a part of me still felt adrift, just a leaf in a whirlwind of conflict and confusion. But then suddenly, as if the universe sought to shatter any semblance of control I had begun to grasp, my phone buzzed incessantly in my pocket. I felt the world around me freeze, anticipation electrifying the air as I pulled it out. The message alert flashed across the screen, the name staring back at me, filling my heart with dread. "Gina." My hands shook as I opened the message, the anticipation of that name reshaping my reality. The message that appeared shattered the fragile hold I had on my thoughts. "We need to talk. I think I owe you something." Time seemed to stand still, the gravity of that revelation settling heavily on my chest as I faced the truth of my crumbling world. In that moment, I felt the cold grip of betrayal intertwine with the burning anger igniting within me. I was standing on the precipice of something far larger than any one infidelity, a reckoning not just for Brian and me, but for the tangled web of hearts entwined in this mess of lies and mistrust. The emotional tide was rising, and only now, I had to confront the storm brewing at my feet, the storm that would determine whether I remained the worthless wife or emerged on the other side, stripped down but unbroken, clinging to the hope of reclaiming my power. Walking away, I felt as if I had traversed a dark, empty hallway, each step echoing the uncertainty and pain building inside me. The suffocating silence of the gathering hung thick, wrapping around me like a shroud, and I couldn't help but feel the weight of each piercing stare. It took every ounce of willpower to keep from running back, from demanding answers, or even from collapsing completely into despair. Instead, I pushed through the emotional fog, each breath a testament to my resolve. There was a sliver of hope in my heart, born from the kindness of Karen's words, as if they had offered me a lifeline. I believed in the power of resilience, that, like phoenixes, we could rise from our ashes. The thought felt fragile but resolute. As I stood in the kitchen by myself, I pulled my phone close again, contemplating the message from Gina. It felt like a slap in the face, a reminder of the festering wounds in my life. Who had she thought herself to be, sweeping in like a lightning storm, claiming pieces of my shattered world? I hesitated but knew that whatever she owed me was something I needed to hear. However, the ringing in my ears made it hard to focus. I leaned against the cool countertop, trying to steady the whirlwind inside me, fighting against the dizzying urge to scream. A fleeting thought crossed my mind: could this be the start of my reclamation? Or merely another painful revelation within the chaos? I took a deep breath and finally replied. What do you mean? My fingers trembled as I hit send, almost as if the act alone would reveal everything I needed to know. With nothing else to distract me, I turned my attention to the window, watching the storm clouds swirling ominously overhead. Outside, rain began to fall, gently at first, then dragging against the pavement as though mirroring my own turbulent feelings. I pressed my forehead against the glass, feeling the chill seep into my soul. My reflection stared back, a ghost of the woman I used to recognize, bearing the scars of betrayal and loss. But could I really allow this to define me? No, something within me rebelled against that notion. Moments later, my phone buzzed again. I glanced down. It was Gina. I didn't think it was fair to hide this from you much longer. Brian told me he was feeling confused, and I didn't know at first that I was a part of that confusion. A hollow ache settled in the pit of my stomach. The wicked twist of betrayal deepened, intertwining dangerously with the threads of self-doubt. I sat down on a nearby chair, trying to process the emotions that crashed over me like waves against jagged rocks. How had so many layers of deceit wrapped around our lives, binding us without our consent? Brian's face flashed in front of me, lost amidst the turmoil of pain. I thought of us before all of this laughter, the dreams we had shared, even those moments of quiet intimacy. Could we ever go back? Could I even face him again after this spoke of relentless hurt? My heart tightened painfully as I scribbled a desperate thought in my mind. What had truly been real? The bell rang through the house, cutting through the cacophony of my turmoil. I stood, heart racing, expecting one of my friends, hoping for Lena or another ally. But when I opened the door, I was stunned to see Brian standing there, drenched from the rain, eyes searching mine like he was desperately afraid of the answer he might find. What are you doing here? I found myself asking, surprise mingling with a surge of unresolved emotions. I need to talk to you, he replied, his voice strained, every word tasting of hope and dread. I need you to understand. Understand what? I interrupted, fighting the urge to shut the door on him, to keep him from poisoning my life any further. What part of this could possibly be explained away? You've broken something so fundamental between us. His eyes flared with pain, a mirrored reflection of my own anguish. I felt my heart waver, torn between the hostility of betrayal and the haunting echoes of love. He stepped closer, rain-soaked and vulnerable, as he reached out, but I took a step back. Just give me a minute to explain, he pleaded, desperation etched on his face. I had never seen someone so thoroughly torn by their own choices. But that didn't change the truth. This was still my heart they were playing with. As the harsh wind howled outside, mixing with the steady drum of rain, I caught him glancing over my shoulder at the chaos of my home. Can we please talk inside? In that moment, the storm outside felt minuscule compared to the one brewing inside me. Should I let him in physically and emotionally after everything? I hesitated, my heart teetering between the fear of losing what we had and the determination to reclaim what had been taken from me, the wholeness of self. The weight of those choices pressed on me harder than any rain had ever could. Then I remembered Gina's message, her words curling back into my mind like smoke drifting away without a trace. Was I making the biggest mistake of my life, or was this a step towards clarity? I opened the door wider, uncertainty swirling around me like the stormy skies above. But the one thing I did know was that I was finished being at the mercy of others. No more lies, I breathed. If we're going to do this, then we do it right. As he stepped foot inside, my heart raced, every instinct screaming for caution. Would this decision lead me to reclaim my power or bury me deeper into despair? The air crackled with tension. The winds of change were upon us, and I was left to ponder if some storms were simply unavoidable. It was time to confront the truth, not only of Brian's betrayal but of my own desires hidden beneath the surface. I could see the precipice we stood upon, a fragile bridge over a chasm of broken dreams, and I held my breath, wondering just how deep the fall would be. The world outside blurred as the rain intensified, spilling over sidewalks and rooftops, creating a symphony of despair against the window panes. I stood in the kitchen, confronting Brian with every ounce of strength I could muster, trembling with the fear of what would come next. Could I trust him? Did I want to? Inside me, emotions boiled, churning restlessly. It felt like I was standing before a storm, the winds of doubt whipping about me, ready to tear apart the fragile walls I had begun to reconstruct around my heart. The truth, I said, my voice trembling, barely above the sound of the rain. That's all I want, Brian. No distractions. No excuses. I forced myself to maintain eye contact, wanting nothing more than to see beyond his fear into the depths of my own heartbreak. He nodded slowly, as if realizing the severity of the ground we were about to tread. I never intended for this to happen. I swear. It was never about you, not really. It was about me feeling lost, feeling like I was losing you. His words crashed against my defenses, each syllable like glass shards piercing my resolve. Lost, I said bitterly. You were lost? You turned to someone else instead of talking to me. His frustration shifted to despair, and the pain etched in his features filled my chest with a sorrow for the man I loved, despite the betrayal. I didn't know how to ask for help. I thought I could fix things on my own. And in my desperation, I made the worst choice possible. As he spoke, flashes of laughter and warmth surged through me, memories of afternoons spent planning a future that had once seemed so certain. The pangs of nostalgia dug deeper into my soul, making the truth that much harder to bear. But I couldn't let myself be lost in that hatch. I needed to remain grounded. Is that your explanation for the years we spent building what we had? I shot back. Running away when things got hard. I know how it sounds, he said, desperation clinging to his voice. Please, just hear me out. In doing this, I finally understood how much I needed you, how lost I had been without you. I thought I could find clarity, find myself by seeking relief somewhere else, but all I found was regret. I felt anchored in my pain. Every confession he made was a thread pulling at the fabric of what we once were, a fabric so beautifully woven yet now frayed and stained. With a shaky inhale, I finally nodded, signaling him to continue. The weight of the moment was palpable, stitching vulnerability together with desperation, yet still, I struggled to quiet the storms inside. What about Gina? I asked, every word tainted by doubt. Biting his lip, his gaze flickered away for a moment, a sign of guilt. I was confused. It was wrong. It was all wrong. He ran a hand through his damp hair, frustration and sorrow mixing into an unbearable concoction. But I need you to know that you are everything to me. I've never stopped loving you. Those words were fragile yet heavy, echoing in a place reserved for warmth in my heart. How could love exist alongside such deep betrayal? I wanted to believe him, to forgive him, but the shadow of uncertainty loomed large, stretching further than the churning storm outside. A sudden noise from behind me pulled my focus away from Hima's soft mewing. I turned to see my cat, Macy, sitting in the threshold, for damp yet eyeing us both with a curious tilt of her head as if sensing the gravity of the moment. I knelt to her eye level, needing the comfort of her unspoken understanding. As I smoothed my hand over her head, I felt a flicker of warmth. It reminded me that not everything was bleak, little things like the companionship of a pet still offered solace. I wish things were different, he said, breaking the heavy silence that had settled between us. Can I show you I am willing to fight for you? If you give me a chance, I can show you how deeply I regret everything. Was this how it all began, an act of desperation tarnished by intent that spiraled into chaos? I looked into his eyes, searching for the glimmer of the man I fell in love with. Before I could respond, the sound of my phone buzzing against the countertop startled both of us. I turned to see another message from Gina illuminating the screen. My heart stuttered. Give me a second, I said, brushing away the dread creeping in. As I read, my breath caught painfully in my throat. I never meant for our lives to intertwine like this. I plead with you to forgive me. You need to know Brian isn't the only one who has felt loss here. I have something important to tell you. I never meant to hurt you. But there's something else you need to understand. My heart raced as I felt the tides shift once more. But before I could even respond, another vibration sent a message heavy with gravity illuminating the screen. I've known him for a long time, and I don't think I am the only person entangled in this story. What could she possibly mean? Were there others involved? The urgency of the message struck me as terrifying, and I felt the ground beneath me shift, uncertainty threatening to swallow me whole once again. I turned back to Brian, who watched me, confusion lining his features. What is it? He asked, his voice quaking with concern. Tears filled my vision as I raised my phone again. It seems I am not the only one with secrets in this tangled web. A storm raged about us, but it was nothing compared to the turmoil inside my heart, an impending wave of revelations waiting to crash down, conjuring shadows from the past that demanded to be reckoned with. I mustered the courage within as I opened the door to so many unknowns, wondering just how deep this tumultuous story would unveil itself. The wind howled outside, slamming rain against the windows like impatient fingers on a piano, each note sharp and discordant. I stood rooted in the kitchen, phone trembling in my hand. Each word from Gina's message plunged deeper than any blade, wounding more than just my heart. My once dear friend had now become a ghost haunting my every thought, stirring up echoes of every secret and every sin. I looked at Brian, his eyes wide and searching, as if desperate to navigate the depths of my despair. Gina, I managed to say, my voice barely there, the name tasting bitter on my tongue, bitter like betrayal itself. She knows something about you. About us. What do you mean? He asked, A tremor in his voice betraying the calm he tried to portray. I swallowed hard, still grappling with the revelation. She claims it's not just you and her. There are other people, other secrets. The air between us thickened, and I could see fear creeping into his expression, darkening the hopeful glimmer that flickered there moments ago. I don't understand, he said, shaking his head. What secrets could there be? Please, don't listen to her. She's trying to twist things. But I was done being twisted. More than anything, I needed answers not just from him, but from Gina. I felt an instinctual need to confront her, to force the truth out of her. Maybe that truth would either lift the burden off my heart or crush me entirely. Either way, clarity felt like a necessary evil. As if sensing my resolve, Brian stepped forward, reaching for my hand. Don't talk to her. Let us work this out first. I promise you, I can explain everything. I yanked my hand back as a fire ignited within me and filled the void left by uncertainty. You haven't even begun to explain anything. How could you beg me to trust you when another layer of deception lies right in front of us? The air felt electric between us, charged and heavy, swelling with emotions we hadn't been prepared to dissect. I never planned for this to happen. I thought it was done, over. I wanted to forget her. To be with you. He was pleading now, voice cracking. Please, is that not worth something? You are the one I love. At that moment, my heart battled with my mythic concept of love, both beautiful and treacherous. The warmth from our shared memories sparked against a backdrop of pain, and I couldn't shift away from the nagging sense that this was far from over. I dashed upstairs, needing to escape, to breathe. Each thundering heartbeat echoed fiercely against my chest, intertwining with the chaotic thoughts racing in my mind. In my bedroom, I grabbed a blanket from the bed and huddled on the floor, drawing it tightly around myself like a protective cocoon. I longed for the soft embrace of happier days, those mornings when feeling unbreakable was a simple truth. But I was lost, eroded by doubt and the jagged remnants of betrayal. As I sat curled up, I heard a hesitant knock on my bedroom door. May I come in? Brian's voice was gentle, almost apologetic. A flicker of hesitation seized my heart, and I wrapped my arms tighter around myself. Why? I replied, my voice thick with tears. So you can give me more excuses, please, I just want to talk. I can't leave you like this. Reluctantly, against the multitude of reasons telling me to push him away, I barked out, fine. But you better come clean about everything. When he entered, the sight of his troubled expression sent another wave of conflicting emotions crashing against the foundation I built so carefully in my heart. I'll do anything, he said. I get how overwhelmed you must feel right now, but I can't lose you. Not again. Just tell me where you want to start. Start with Gina, I said, my voice low and trembling. What else does she know? Because I promise you, if there's more, I will walk away. I refuse to be treated like someone's second choice. His breath hitched, and the room fell silent, save for the rain pounding against the window. I don't know what she knows, but I swear, I thought everything was behind me. After we went through that rough patch after Mom died, I didn't handle it well, and she was there. We fell into this mess, but I was done with her before you ever found out. I need you to believe that. A flicker of doubt still tugged at me. Trust was an elusive shadow. The chilling understanding spilled within me that whatever truths lay entwined with Gina's secrets could change everything we thought we knew. That's not enough. You ask for trust while holding a bag of lies. You need to take responsibility for your choices. I shot back, emotions boiling over, and I felt the tears finally break free. You need to tell me your truth or this is where we part. He paced briefly, wings clipped by panic, before finally locking his gaze onto mine, desperation raw in his eyes. There's more to Brian and Gina. But I just didn't think it mattered before. I wanted to protect you. What do you mean protect me? Panic laced through my words, heart thundering in my chest. From what? I didn't want you to know about my history. There was someone else. The weight of his confession felt heavier than any storm raging outside. It's complicated. But there are two people, and just like that, a revelation unfurled that was more profound than anything I had anticipated. I struggled to grasp the implications as Brian's voice blurred within the hurricane of my thoughts. I need you to help me believe, I whispered, but the trust lingering between my heart and his grew thinner, hanging by threads of uncertainty. I felt as if I were caught in a current that threatened to drag me away from safety. Just then, my phone buzzed in the darkness, pulling my attention back to the outside world. A single messenger follow-up from Gina, illuminating the screen brightly against the dim shadows of despair. Are you ready for the truth? My own heart raced as I read, the pulse of my emotions stretching into infinity. I never thought it would end like this, but trust me, everything is connected. You need to know what I know. Who are the two people? I asked quietly as I turned back to Brian. Anguish and fear skittered across his features. I thought I could protect your heart, he murmured, but whatever certainty he had slipped like sand between our fingers. For it all hung precariously, no on the brink of another storm, another wave crashing down on a shore once clear. Amid that turmoil, as the rain poured outside, the truth grew more elusive, threatening to shatter everything: my heart, my faith, my future into jagged pieces. I glared at the phone once more, the next wave of emotions looming, contemplating the landslide of revelations ready to unfold, wondering what kind of truths would reshape the very fabric of our lives. I could hear the rain continuing to pelt the roof, a steady rhythm that matched the pulse of my heart, syncopating with the chaos brewing in my chest. The glow of my phone screen flickered ominously in the dark room, illuminating Brian's anxious face, full of uncertainty yet somehow fiercely protective. I felt as if we stood on the precipice of a revelational chasm that could lead either to salvation or despair. Why won't you just tell me? I demanded, my voice barely above a whisper. What do you mean by two people? Brian looked at the floor as if the answer lay hidden within the fibers of the carpet. There's a history I thought I could shield you from. I thought if we moved forward together, the past wouldn't matter. But now he raked a hand through his hair, clearly battling his own turmoil. Now it's all crashing down. Tell me. I wanted to scream, feeling the weight of that unspoken history pressing against my chest like a suffocating shroud. Trust was already slipping through my fingers, and I had a desperate need for clarity. His silence gnawed at me, each passing second stretching like an eternity. I clutched the blanket tighter around my shoulders, seeking warmth from the emotional storm rolling between us. I promise I won't judge you if you are honest with me. Just don't make this harder than it has to be. With a deep, shuddering breath, Brian finally met my gaze. It was before you. It's always been before you. But you were so perfect, so unblemished that I wanted to protect you from the skeletons I dragged behind me. It's not just Gina. There was another girl, Jenna. Things got messy, and I hurt them both. I left them because I thought I'd made my choice when I chose you. I thought that would be enough. Gina's message. I hesitated, trying to process his confessions. Was it about Jenna? Yes. They both, Gina and Jenna, were tied into my recklessness. It's why I thought it didn't matter anymore. The ground beneath me felt unsteady. My vision blurred for a moment, weighty confusion twisting within me like a storm cloud. Suddenly, Memory intruded Gina's laughter, moments shared in carefree joy. How could she descend into this tangled web of betrayal? Why now, Brian? What did Gina mean when she said everything was connected, because I made mistakes that never fully healed? I thought time would bury them, but then she reached out. Maybe she was jealous. I don't know, he shrugged, anguish etched across his features. But you have every right to be angry. I put you in this position. Angry? Is that all you think I can feel? I scoffed lightly, a bitter laugh escaping my lips. I don't know what to feel right now. I just want to scream. I want to understand how you could think I deserve to be shielded from the truth while you carried all of this. Please, he stepped forward, desperation igniting a plea in his eyes. I love you, and I wanted to protect you, but every secret I hold is a chain pulling me down as well. I am no better than the shadows creeping in, and I know that. With a deep breath, he continued, I believe the depth of my mistakes is the very reason Gina reached out. I don't think it's coincidence she chose this moment. I think she is trying to finish what we left behind, and I need to know what she knows. A deep silence crystallized between us, laden with the weight of unspoken fears and lost dreams. My mind was a whirlwind of emotions, the distant echoes of Gina's choice ensnaring me, battling with the grip I still held on Brian. Was it wise to believe his shaky pledges of love? Had protecting me merely been a mask for his cowardice, shielding him from the reality of his own unresolved past? As if to answer my thoughts, another message sound pinged from my phone, a discordant jolt amidst the heavy atmosphere. With trembling fingers, I turned my gaze back to the harsh light cooling my skin, exposing the flickering hope that merged with my rising dread. It read, I am reaching out for a reason. I can't let you live in a lie. You deserve the truth about Brian, about Jenan, about yourself. I'll be waiting. Who the hell is waiting? I muttered, feeling the chill of hollow despair crawling up my spine. The weighty shadows lurking in the corners of the room felt alive, twisting, contorting, urging me to confront them. Are you going to talk to her? Brian asked slowly, a tremor lacing his confident facade. You can't. I have to, I interrupted, feeling the resolve rush through me. I won't let our lives be governed by whispers and shadows anymore. I need to know how deep all this runs. I have to see Gina. He stepped back, the reality of my words crashing down around us. You can't trust her, he warned, his voice heavy with the burden of warning. I can't trust anyone, Brian. I shot back, fueled by anger yet tethered by the flame of uncertainty. But I can't just sit here waiting for the other shoe to drop while I drown in this murky sea of secrets. I stood, feeling the blanket slip from my shoulders, and for the first time in a long while, my heart surged with a heady miasma of empowerment. I was ready to reclaim what had been taken from me, to find clarity in this turbulent mess. Brian's hold on my hand felt reassuring but demure. What if it's worse than you think? Then let it be. I don't want to be the woman who was blindsided, I whispered fiercely to him. I'd rather wade through the whirlwind of painful truths than stay in this uncertain hell. As I turned toward my phone again, ready to respond to Gina, I couldn't shake the feeling that this path was winding toward an unseen destination that could either heal us or divide us irrevocably. I felt both terrified and galvanized as I typed out my reply. Then, without warning, the lights flickered, weapons of uncertainty illuminating the edges of our heated discussion, and with a cracked voice, Brian asked, what if she knows something that could destroy us both? The question hung heavy in the air, pregnant with dread. The vulnerability in his voice worked its way back into my mind, weaving intricacies I wished to avoid. I paused, staring at the words forming on my screen, uncertain whether stepping closer to the truth would set me free or doom us forever. I pressed send, bracing myself for the storm that was about to break. The rain had intensified, hammering against the windows as if it too wanted to drown out the tension calling between Brian and me. With the weight of our unspoken truths hanging in the air, I hit send, my heart thumping in tandem with the storm outside. Each drop echoed my resolve, a resounding rhythm against the uncertainty that had clouded my heart for too long. The phone buzzed almost immediately, jolting me from the tangle of anticipation and dread. "I'll be waiting," Gina's message read, as if she were a siren calling me closer to the rocks. My stomach twisted, ready for the crash. I turned to Brian, whose expression was a mixture of desperation and fear, a reflection of my own chaotic heart. "Are you sure about this?" he asked softly, his voice strained and uncertain. For a moment, I felt the familiar tug of love, memories flooding back, whispers in the dark, laughter over shared meals, dreams whispered under stars. Yet, it occurred to me that love, however strong, could be cloaked in shadows, and that I could no longer let it navigate my life for me. "I have to know the truth, Brian," I replied, my voice steady though my insides quaked. "Because if I am to forgive, I need to understand. I have to face the person who knew what we had and extinguished it with her choices." He huffed out a shaky breath, remnants of anger softening into vulnerability. "But what if it tears us apart instead?" "I don't know," I admitted, the truth burning in my chest. "But I'd rather face the storm than live in the darkness of uncertainty." And so there it was, acknowledgement that our love could either emerge from this turmoil stronger or shatter beyond repair. He stared at me for a long moment, frayed emotions flickering in his eye showed desperation, regret, and I wondered if he understood just how far I had come. I no longer wanted to be the reflection of a worthless wife, but instead a woman reclaiming her power. "I understand," he finally said, voice barely above a whisper. "But just promise me you will come back. And leave you to face the consequences all alone?" I said, holding his gaze. But I felt a weight in the air, and uncertainty crackled between us like static. Just then, my phone buzzed again. The excitement mixed with unease flooded through me as I realized it was another message from Gina. "Meet me at the old cafe. I'll be there in half an hour." The urgency in her words felt like the final piece of this tangled puzzle slamming into place, and I clenched my jaw against the rising tide of emotions. "Are you really going through with this?" Brian's unease crept back into the room, casting shadows against our fragile moment. "Yes." His eyes fell, a moment of painful realization washing over him, but I couldn't allow myself to hesitate. "I need to know," I reaffirmed, stepping toward the door. "You can come with me, if you want, but I won't let anyone decide my fate for me anymore." As I left, the cool air felt like an invigorating breeze, washing over my conflicted heart. Brian stood rooted in place, watching me slip away into the chaos, the storm raging outside ringing true to the conflict I felt inside. The cafe loomed ahead, an old haunt filled with memories of laughter and comfortable conversations now transformed into a battleground for my emotional reckoning. I pushed the door open, the familiar scent of coffee and pastries flooding my senses. The sound of chimes ringing overhead echoed in the silence that had surrounded my past. And there, perched at the window, sat Gina. She looked different, a blend of anxiety and resolve written across her face. I inhaled deeply, keeping my heart steady as I crossed the threshold. I had always envisioned confronting her differently, anger fueling my fire, hurt driving every step. But now, I was armed with purposive determination to reclaim my narrative. "Gina," I said, summoning my voice to steady ground. "Marisol," she replied, surprise mingling with sincerity, and I sensed the depths of her vulnerability. "Thank you for coming. I slid into the chair opposite her, bracing myself. Just tell me the truth. What do you know? About Brian? About Jenna? Her eyes flickered, emotions dancing as she steeled herself. It's complicated, so much of it never left my heart. Then start from the beginning, I demanded, poised for whatever storm was brewing beneath her skin. For the next moments, she unraveled the tangled tale stories of heartbreak, a bond gone awry, and dual allegiances threatening to drown both our connections. I sat there, absorbing her words as pieces began to fit together, building towards some tangled form of understanding. As truths emerged, they felt heavy but empowering, lifting burdens I never knew I was carrying. I didn't want to hurt you, she admitted, her voice quaking frail with remorse. But things between Brian and me, they just spiraled out of control. I didn't know how to back away. As she spoke, I realized the layers of pain were not just about betrayal, but silhouettes of loneliness that had shadowed us both. You both let the past control your present, I replied, braiding my own pain with theirs, unraveling threads that tethered me to the idea of us. A silent understanding passed between us, the realization of two women caught in the echoes of a man's choices, both trying to find their footing amid the ruin of love turned sore. But you need to know, she added, her tone shifting as she leaned closer to me. Brian chose you, he always did. He thought he could navigate this alone. Tears pooled in my eyes, reflecting the weight of frustration and relief mingling together. And what about Jenna? I pressed, feeling as if I were collecting fragmented truths to construct my own story anew. She was a mistake-a reckoning that needed to happen for him to see what really mattered. And just like that, the shards of my understanding began to align. And the connection you had with Brian? There was something genuine, but it was built on threads of confusion and regret. The moment it became real, the moment I felt tied to him, was also the moment he decided to abandon it for the certainty of your love. Her honesty struck a chord. I understood the echoes resonating deeper than the surface. So are you saying I am the prize? I asked, feeling anger bubbling once more. No, she replied, an earnest sincerity filling her ear. You are the reality. Both he and I were the fantasies we constructed when burdened by grief and darkness. He didn't need another woman, he needed clarity, connection. It was never about you not being enough. Time slowed as I considered her words. But I feel so broken, as if I am a caricature of the woman I used to be. You are stronger than you think. The moment you step into the light, reclaiming the powers you forged even in the darkness, you will be unstoppable. Suddenly, something profound stirred within me, resonating with the truth she unraveled. Perhaps this confrontation was never solely about Brian and me, but about the reclamation of who I could become. With newfound clarity, I finally stood, my heart steadying as a sense of liberation flowed through me. Thank you, Gina, I said softly, no longer a mirror of hate but a bridge to understanding. What we've done may forever haunt us, but the past doesn't change what I can build moving forward. An aura of peace settled around us, and I stepped outside, the storm gentler now, the rain falling like tears in cleansing. I turned toward the cafe, watching her silhouette through the window as I stepped back into the tumultuous world, my heart rekindled with fire. When I arrived home, Brian stood waiting, his expression of uncertainty revealing the vulnerability that remained. I saw you talking to her, he began, his voice steadier than I'd expected. Let's talk, I replied, shifting my perspective as I stepped toward him. I've uncovered the truth behind all your shadows, but we still need to navigate the path forward. With that, I watched as the storm clouds receded, revealing a horizon bright with possibilities beginning of reconciliation and hope. I held my breath, ready to step forward, and in that moment, the world appeared less chaotic, and I recognized the flicker of power reigniting within me. I need you to understand one thing, Brian, I said, grounding myself as my heart swelled with conviction. No more secrets. Only the truth between us moving forward. I refuse to let fear dictate my heart again. The remnants of the storm faded, and suddenly, clarity settled heavy around us as we began to walk through our intertwined truths together. And in that moment, I realized that storms may come and go, but it's how we stand through them that shapes who we become. Marisol, he murmured, his eyes reflecting a mixture of sorrow and hope, you are everything to me. I am learning, I whispered, feeling a fracture of warmth break through the chill of the past. And I am ready to choose the life I want, even if that means learning to let go. I stood tall, heart finally beating to the rhythm of resolve and strength. I would reclaim my power, however uncomfortable the journey might still be ahead. No longer a worthless wife, but a woman stepping into the brightness of her own light. As the final rays of sunlight broke through the clouds, I let out the breath I hadn't realized I'd been holding. First, we face the truth together, I said softly, ready to embrace whatever came next. I knew then that this was just the beginning of understanding, healing, and reclaiming the pieces of me that had felt lost for so long. Together, we would rise through the storm, not just as two individuals but as a force untitled and unafraid, ready to meet life head-on, one truth at a time.